Welcome everyone to the Bob and John Sports Show. We had a little audio. It felt like I was in the tube, and it was just coming from everywhere, Bob.
You know what? We need to find or fire our production manager, okay?
Because his hearing sucks.
Yeah, because just raise me up a little bit. It's just I mean, you're the host, and that production manager keeps throwing us on, but we can't hear stuff. The music's too loud. Next thing you know, the production manager is going to want to raise, and
he's getting a raise.
No, he's getting raised.
Well, it sounded like it was. I swear to God, it sounded like it was coming out of my headphones, but it was coming out of the speakers behind. Yeah, that's part of getting old.
If anybody wants to come work for Bob and John Sports Hour Production, we have a producer's desk right here. If you're hot and topless, hey, that's even better.
We'll hire you.
We'll hire you, right?
All the drinks you want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was funny because that was that post I put on the BS page was, if you ran into yourself at 18-year-old, what advice would you give yourself? And I took the finance part out of it because that's just invest in Apple stock.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah. And be more realistic.
Yeah, mine was I would have took better care of my hearing.
Exactly.
I would have rolled up the goddamn window on my semi, or I would have yelled at the owner to get fucking air conditioning.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Okay. So this is off sports topic. The first truck I drove on a route was a bobtail with no AC.
Yep.
So if you left the windows down when you're driving, the roof would pop.
Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't want to have that annoying. So I'm in Fireball. It's like summertime on a Wednesday, 108 degrees. And my last stop, and I'm drenched in sweat. I'm tired. I just, all I want to do is get cool. And, back then you had Gatorade. You didn't have water. They didn't sell bottled water yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I've got an hour and a half drive. Do I want to roll up both windows and sweat my nuts off again? Or do I want to put up with the pop for an hour and a half?
Yeah.
I bit the bullet, man. I rolled both windows up and maybe got a little bit of air and had like 3 bottles of Gatorade because I sweated my nuts off. And I'm telling you right now, after 3 bottles of Gatorade, I got back to the warehouse. I did not even have to go pee.
Yeah.
Because I was sweating so bad.
You sweated it all out. You sweated it out. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, that's back when I was $1.80.
Yeah, I was when I was driving. I drove for I'll say their name. I don't even know if they're still in business, but Clausen Trucking.
Clausen just sold to
one of the Italian boys.
No, who's the one at TM70?
Vito.
No, the ones that come in TM70.
Our Carlucci.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because a Clausen truck came in the other day, so I called Robbie. I go, Robbie, I got a Clausen truck out front. I don't have Carlucci. He goes, oh, they bought Clausen.
Yeah.
I said, okay, thank you.
Yeah, they had no air conditioning. The fuel gauge didn't work, so you had to fuel your truck every morning.
Every morning.
No matter what. You never assumed it was full. Always fill it up.
Absolutely.
Air conditioning didn't work. But what made it worse was the vents didn't work. So you couldn't shut the vents off. So it was constantly blowing hot air through the vent.
Oh,
no matter what I'd slide
in.
I would, dude, it got like the third day. And again, I'm hauling grapes. So this is summertime.
Yeah.
July. So I would tape cardboard on top of the vents with duct tape, and I would shut all the vents off, dude, because I couldn't take any more hot air.
People don't know what we went through.
Yeah,
before everyone had AC and everything. Like all the truck drivers now, they
look pampered.
They tested automatics.
Yeah, they're pampered.
I'm like driving a 10-speed, a 5-speed over under 10-speed.
13 speed with 2 splitters.
Yeah.
Well, that was my first truck. That was at Clausen. I was like, oh, thank God I learned how to drive these at Western. Hey, shout out to Western Truck School. If they wouldn't have had a 13 speed, I would have never known how to do that thing.
Yeah.
And then it constantly remembering what gear you're in. How that is so important when you have 13 gears and 2 splitters.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just like, with it was a 5-speed with a splitter. So basically, you had a 10-speed.
Yeah, 10-speed.
But if you're empty, you just put it on high and just went through every gear.
Yeah.
If you're fully loaded, okay, shit, I got to start on on low. I got to go through until I get it all the way up. But yeah, if you're empty, dude, you just start on one high and you just keep going through. It's awesome.
I got spoiled at the end of my career, and that was with an automatic Peterbilt, and it was just step on the throttle, baby. Put it in drive and then step on the throttle.
See, you and I are different because at the end of my career, when I got my CDL, I finally upgraded to air conditioning.
Yeah, you got air. You got air.
I was so happy to have AC, man. Oh crap! You. My first car, my '74 Gold Duster, no AC. No. Remember the little wings that you'd pop out so that you could get the air on you?
Well, I loved bugs back then.
Yeah.
So this is something we should be doing with art.
I know we should do this with art.
We'll go with art. We'll go with art.
What we do with art? Yeah,
we got Abdul Carter. We're going to talk about him.
Abdul Carter.
Yes, we're going to do the NFL season opener, Eagles and Cowboys. I'm kind of shocked Bob isn't so much about them starting the season. I had my reasons for that. Derek Carr.
What's your we'll get it.
Yeah. Derek Carr retires.
Yes.
And
smart man.
Did it with class. And we're going to talk about that because he left a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, he did, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. He left a lot of money. We're going to do I saw it on TikTok, and I thought, hey, this is something I should do with Bob. And we're going to rate the greatest running backs of all time. So I got, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 running backs that are amazing running backs. Okay. And we're going to go through that list and see which one Bob ends up as being number one and see if he comes to the same conclusion as the guy on TikTok.
I'm not going to come to the same conclusion.
We'll see.
I can guarantee you I'm not coming to the same conclusion.
We'll see what happens. And we got 5 minutes with Bob, and then I guess we're going to talk a little bit about the season opener of the WNBA.
Yeah, WNBA, yes.
Are you ready for the WNBA? Men. Because, we'll get it. We'll just jump right into the WNBA.
Sure. Well, we'll start with there. Okay.
I'm going to ask you, because this is the thing with the WNBA. It's not, are the men going to watch? It's not about, are we going to watch? And it shouldn't be about, are we going to watch?
No, it's not.
It should be, are women going to watch? And now that they have the money from advertisers, they got money to advertise on some of the bigger networks. What do they need to do? Because I'll be honest with you, I'll say the last 10 years, what I have noticed, and I'm not talking about collegiate level or pro level, but women's sports has become, and you're just talking to parents that have girls and they're all playing sports. Yes. They're all doing something. Yes. They're playing soccer. They're playing baseball. They're playing softball. They're playing flag football. Yeah. That would have never happened in my time.
No. Well, I mean, back in my time, girls were playing tennis because you still had, they wanted to be Chrissy Everett, Martina Navratilova, and that's where a lot of girls went because you really didn't advertise. Women's golf wasn't a thing. You had Nancy Lopez. She was about the only thing I can remember about women's golf back in the 70s, 80s. And that's when they, all the women golfing back then looked like, female gym teachers.
Yeah. They did.
There wasn't, look, I'm not going to go sexist here, but I'm going to go sexist.
Hold on.
No, you don't have to worry about that. It's just in the 90s and in the 2000s, everything changed where the female athlete started getting more fit, more tone, except for the Olympians. The Olympians were always there.
Yeah.
But you had Florence Griffin Joyner,
the track stars.
Yeah, the track stars. You always had them, and the gymnast. You had Nadia Comaneci, Olga Kolb, whatever that chick from Russia.
You got it, Bob. You can do it, Bob.
I want to say Olga, and I can't remember her last name, but
it's right there. Olga scares me.
But then that got into like the women's team with Mary Lou Stratton.
Yeah.
She came on and she changed the world. She changed the culture. And then the female swimmers. Granted, in the 70s and 80s, we had those dudes from East Germany. I'm sorry, the female East German team who looked like a bunch of dudes swimming because of steroids.
Yeah.
But then, you started to see more athletic and toned women playing sports. And come on now, sex sells a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to get us interested, That's why I love beach volleyball, dude.
But here's the thing too. What is something that not that I just noticed, but every decade from I'm born in '68, but I kind of remember things in the '70s and the '80s and the '90s. They always had that one female that all the kids wanted to be. We have that now? Is Caitlin that?
Oh, yes.
Caitlin's going to be that.
But see, we
get that once a decade, to be honest.
But see, here's the beauty part of what they created last year with Caitlin Clark. Okay. And for all her haters and her fans are racist, no. If you look in the stands, look how many little girls are wearing Caitlin Clark of different races. Okay? Because she can play basketball. She's talented. I mean, so this year will be better because now Kelsey Plum's playing for the Sparks. Kelsey can play. She was getting outshined in Vegas by Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson is still the best player in the WNBA. But Caitlin Clark is coming, but people are coming because of her.
Yeah.
And it's not because she's attractive. I love Caitlin Clark. She looks like a dude, but I love Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
It's because look at her skill. Look how she plays the game. She plays the game like she's a combination of back in the day white chocolate who could pass and Steph Curry, right? Who can shoot.
Yeah.
She's a combination of that. She worked on games. Now it's up to like Paige Beckers.
Yeah.
Haley Van Lith to follow what Caitlin Clark started. And look.
Yeah, well, I'll go through some. I'm going to admit, I'm going to go through some of the list, and this is what I'm talking about. We need a female athlete that's going to bring little girls into that sport.
Caitlin Clark.
And with tennis, she had Serena Williams.
Right.
That's I'm talking
Serena Williams. Well, actually, you had Chrissy Everett in the 70s.
Well, the 70s, 70s, 80s.
Right. And then you had
don't name
Martina Hingis.
Don't name the grunner. Don't name the drummer from Germany.
Oh yeah, Martina Hingis. Oh yeah.
I knew you were good.
No. Martina Hingis was from Switzerland. Martina Hingis had that Natalie Portman thing going on.
Yeah.
But you're right. But if you look back in the 90s when women's soccer first hit big.
Well, Mia Hamm's on this.
Mia Hamm.
Yeah, she's
right?
on
You had
the
Mia
list.
Hamm, and every little girl wanted to be Mia Hamm.
Yep.
I mean, look at the growth of women's soccer because of Mia Hamm.
Yeah. No, she's the second one on this list.
Yeah, I mean, but look at the growth of female soccer.
Yeah. And I saw that growth happening early.
Yeah.
Because I coached with NYSA with my son, John Paul.
Yeah.
And I saw how NYSA was really starting to, in mid 90s, early 2000s, to start getting girls more involved in sports. And they started having their own league where they were actually having travel teams with girls. And I thought this was amazing. Was amazing. And some of those girls that were playing back then, matter of fact, some of the scrimmages I had with John Paul's soccer team were with other girls, other girls' teams.
Well, one of the girls on the first female team that won the Olympics and won the World Cup, Tisha Venturini, was from Modesto.
Yeah.
Tisha Venturino actually went to North Carolina, got recruited to North Carolina, played with Mia Hamm.
Say hi to Art.
Hey, Art, what's going on, brother?
Get your ass over here, Art.
Hey, Art, we've got a great conversation when you get here, Art. But Tisha Venturini did that, and that was at a time where nobody paid attention to girls soccer until they won the first World Cup.
Yeah,
and then it's like all the little girls who came out to watch. That's what you want to bring if you want to elevate the game. And
then you got Jackie Joyner on.
Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Yep.
Track and field.
You can't miss what's her name? Bias with the Olympic guys. Simone.
Yeah, Simone Biles.
Simone Biles.
But see, Simone Biles got into gymnastics because of Mary Lou Retton. Because of Nadia Comaneci.
It's that transition.
It's the transition. It's that transition. She got to see women on TV performing well, and some. Now, trust me, Simone Biles she's elevated gymnastics to where my friend Brooke Rule, her daughter's a gymnast, and that's one of her heroes is Simone Biles. But what with Simone Biles you get little girls in America, white little girls and black little girls who want to be gymnasts. Before, you never saw black gymnasts.
Yeah.
Okay? But now they're all over the place, which is good. This is all good.
Lisa Leslie,
WNBA.
Mean, she brought a lot of girls to basketball.
You know what though? I think though, but before Lisa Leslie, you had Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller was better than Lisa Leslie.
Yeah, sure.
But Lisa Leslie had a better WNBA career.
But
Cheryl Miller, Lisa Leslie, the McGee twins, Candace Parker, I mean, Cheryl Swoops. I mean, you had a lot of these ladies back in the 80s and 90s laying the foundation, but it never caught on.
They got Comaneci on this.
Not a Comaneci. Dude, look, 1976, Montreal Olympics.
Well, not that early. I'm not going to go.
I know, no. She was like 14 at the time.
Yeah. That's why I'm taking back my.
Yeah, but in 1976, I was 13, so it was okay. But
oh, that's true.
Yeah. So Nadia Comaneci.
You would have held her hand.
I would have held her hand. Yeah. Nadia Comaneci, though, from Romania, you watch her, and she had her own theme song. That was a theme song from The Young and Restless.
Yeah.
Okay, it's called Nadia's Theme, right? And you're watching her do this amazing stuff in gymnastics, and it's catchy. It's like catchy. I mean, the whole world's watching.
Yeah.
So that's why Bella Caruso, who was her coach in Romania, defected, came to America. To coach gymnastics, and that's when the American gymnasts started taking off. Because back then, except for Kathy Rigby, there was no good American gymnast. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't, Babe Dickerson.
Babe Dickerson Sicarius was from the 30s. Babe was like the she wasn't attractive, but Babe was
sorry, it's not important.
It was the 30s. Okay, but Babe ran track, and she was an Olympian.
Yeah,
she played golf. Babe was a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, she was.
But
I'm seeing it now.
Babe was the first incredible woman's athlete.
Yeah,
but it was the 30s.
Yeah, it was the 30s.
They weren't supposed to be demure and good looking.
Right. Yeah, they represented the time that they were in.
So. Right. But Babe Sicarius, Babe Dickerson Sicarius, I think that's her name.
Yeah, that's it.
But she was like Jim Thorpe back in the day.
Yeah,
she could do everything.
And then, of course, you got Billie Jean. You got
Billie Jean King. Okay, now, so Billie Jean King was a great tennis player, but, it's like, so was Margaret Court, Chrissy Everett.
Yeah.
Billie Jean King got out before Martina Navratilova took over.
Yeah.
And once Martina took over and got good, it was, and I give Billie Jean King credit. The only thing...
She played a guy.
No, yeah, but here's the whole deal. Right? Here's the whole deal with that.
I'll play him.
Bobby Riggs beat Margaret Court.
Yeah.
Okay, first.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Billie Jean King played Bobby Riggs. Bobby Riggs was 70.
Yeah.
Bobby Riggs had to play singles lines where Billie Jean King got to play doubles lines.
Yeah.
So Bobby Riggs had to cover more court.
Yeah.
And he was 70.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why Billie Jean King won. It wasn't fair.
Yeah, no.
If you give it even, both of them playing singles lines, it would have been a hell of a match.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who wins.
And the guy that I was always angry at was Andre Agassi for marrying the beautiful Stephanie Graf.
Steffi Graf, I love. It wasn't Steffi Graf who grunted. It was the other blonde.
No, it was the other guy.
I can't remember her name. Yeah, always. But you got a little turned on. She's grunting. You know what I'm saying? Steffi Graf. But see, that's the whole thing. In the women's tennis was the only thing. Women's tennis and women's track and field back in the 80s and 90s. Except for the insurgence of women's soccer coming up. Yeah. But that's the only time you saw women compete.
Yeah.
Except for the Olympics.
Yeah.
It was women's tennis.
Yep.
And that's it.
And Florence Stephen Joyner.
Yep.
You got her on the list.
Yeah. Florence Griffin Joyner, track and field.
And the woman sprinter that I wouldn't want to meet in an alley, Ronda Rousey. I would not want to meet in the alley.
Okay, Ronda Rousey. Okay, but see,
I don't want to. No, Bob.
I know. I know, but all these other ladies set the foundation for women to expand in sports, MMA.
Yeah.
Okay, you couldn't have MMA in the 80s.
Oh.
Okay, but Ronda Rousey she made women's MMA.
Yeah.
There's a lot more talented MMA fighters now.
Yeah.
But Ronda Rousey was the first.
Yeah.
And she's the one that put them on that. That's just like you had all these great legends in the WNBA. Like I said, Cheryl Swoops, Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Miller. You had all the McGee twins. You had all these great ladies, Maya Moore, in playing WNBA. But now it resonates because they played basketball old style, like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Okay. Caitlin Clark is like I said, white chocolate and Steph Curry.
Yeah.
She can incredibly pass, and she can shoot from anywhere.
Yep.
That's what's bringing eyes to. And look at where they play. They play in front of men's arenas and they fill them out.
Yeah.
Okay. There was the Atlanta Dream had a preseason game with the Indiana Fever. They played at their regular field house, 3,200 people, sold out, of course.
Yeah.
But they could have moved it to the where the men play and sold out 17,000. Yeah, they could have sold out 17,000. And this is the funny part.
I'm sorry, arena.
All right, look, this is the funny part to tell you who the people who the fans want to see. Right. So LSU played the Brazilian national team. Indiana Fever.
Yeah, I saw.
Played so Indiana Fever played it in Iowa. It was like a homecoming.
In their her state.
Sold out.
Yeah, arena. Sorry.
Average ticket price $650.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They went to LSU, where the Chicago Fire, they were the home of Angel Reese. They were selling tickets for $20 and still couldn't fill the arena.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's got to tell you who the face of the WNBA is, and what we're going to have this year. We're going to have a great year for every other person who's not Caitlin Clark to make their point. Kelsey Plum, like I said, Kelsey Plum now is the face of the LA Sparks.
Yeah.
Paige Beckers is now the face of the Dallas Wings. It's up for those ladies to elevate their teams to get the attention to sell out their arenas, except for when the Indiana Fever comes.
Yeah, that's the trick. That is going to be
right, because people were throwing a fit that the New York Liberty won the championship with Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah.
But the Indiana Fever, every one of their games is on national TV.
Yeah, it's on national TV.
And the New York Liberty, I think they're going to
have to do what it takes
games
to get those seats filled, and they have to. Right. It just like with any sport, you have a handful of stars on each team, right. And I think that's what needs to take place in the WNBA.
Yeah,
I think every team has to have a Caitlin Clark or someone equal to her,
right?
To get not just us, the men, to get there,
right.
But it's just for me. I'm trying like, and I'm not being a chauvinist pig.
Right.
I mean, if I put two things in front of your average woman, I'm talking about your average house mom or your average date, and you say, do you want to go? All right, give me something. For instance, on a date to see, I don't know, a movie, or go to a theme park, whatever, and then you put out a WNBA game. I don't see the average house mom or housewife saying, I want to go to a WNBA game.
Don't.
So what do they got to do to get those scales to...
I'm telling you right now, okay? Now that San Francisco has a team, the Valkyries, your granddaughters come over. Yeah. They're getting into women's basketball. They're getting basketball. They go, Nano.
Elena.
Can we go see Caitlin Clark play when she comes to San Francisco? Yeah. And what's Nano going to do?
I'm going to go take her.
Exactly.
Because Elena's hooked. She broke my heart, though, Bob. My heart stopped when she came in the other day and she was wearing a LeBron James.
No, but you know what? At least she's into the game.
And she knew who he was.
Oh, you know what? But that's what it is. See, in the NBA, in the 90s, every town would sell out for Jordan.
Yeah.
In the 80s, everybody was selling out for Dr. J, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
When they're on the road, hey, I'm going to go see Larry. Like Sacramento sold out for Larry Bird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Sacramento sold out for Magic Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, I got to throw one more name out there. Only because she's still beautiful. Yeah. Peggy Fleming.
Peggy, ice skater. You know, no, dude, I'm serious. When I was young,
I'm not being a chauvinist.
When I was young, I had a thing for Dorothy Hamill.
Holy crap, she's 76. Man, time fucking flies, dude.
Dude, Peggy Fleming?
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
Dorothy Hamill. I had a thing for Dorothy Hamill.
Yeah.
Oh man, God, I love me some Dorothy Hamill.
Dana Tracy's on this list.
Who? Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, Taurasi.
She retired.
They're all retired. There's some great names on this list. Some that I that are very, very old. Anita Gibson.
Althea Gibson played tennis.
Yeah, tennis. Let's see who.
She was the first great black tennis player.
Yeah, Maria Sharapova.
Oh God, she was like the.
She's the grunner, wasn't she?
No, she wasn't the grunner. That was I'm gonna think of her name here.
Yeah, we'll get.
But no, Maria Sharapova was like the Playboy centerfold who played tennis.
Yeah,
a lot of guys were like, they came out to see Maria Sharapova.
Yeah, hold on here. I'm gonna do this because it's gonna drive us crazy if we don't do it. A female grunning.
What was her name? I remember. I can. Oh man,
you had Serena Williams was the grunner. Maria Sharapova.
Maria Sharapova.
And I don't even know how to say this. The Aryna. Sure, I don't know. I think
no, not her.
I can't. I knew she was blonde, and I know.
She was like, I think she was from like Germany or something.
Internet, help us out. It was the grunting female tennis player.
Yeah, what country was she from? I mean, I remember her, but she was good.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, like 90s.
Yeah. Oh, late
90s.
Late 90s, early 2000s. But she
every time she hit, she grunted.
Yeah, I don't think she ever got like the top 10. She was like but she got overshadowed by She wasn't the best because you had Martina Hingis, who looked like Natalie Portman. Let me add from the 90s. Oh, as soon as the 90s came right up.
By the way,
Monica Seles.
Monica Seles, yes. Romania or Italy or what?
Monica is from
Yugoslavia.
I don't know. Let me see.
Monica Seles. That's her.
Yeah, that is her. She is from. She has the best she was ever ranked was 30.
Yeah, but she won a couple tournaments.
Yeah, she won a couple tournaments. I'm
Monica Seles. Yes,
that was her.
Everything was like. Like she was taking it from behind,
Yeah. I expanded.
Monica Seles.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah, I'm not sure where the hell she's.
But all right, so getting back to topic.
So what is it going to take, Mr. Sharp? What's
it going to? All right, so here's what it's going to take. Okay, it's for the WNBA this year. Paige Beckers is going to have a great year.
Yeah.
Okay, the Indiana Fever are going to have to win the championship. But man, have you seen Sophie Cunningham? She plays for the Fever now. She's kind of hot.
Yeah, they're all the twins.
No. Sophie Cunningham's not.
Oh, not the twin. Right.
She's 6'2" guard, blonde. God, she's good.
Oh yeah, I follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, and then you got Lexi Hall, and you got Leah Boston.
Yes, I follow.
Now you got Bonner's playing now. I mean, the Indiana Fever, they are loaded. They are loaded to win this year.
They have to win. You're right, but the league doesn't have to force that win. And no. Yeah, exactly. That's something I think that fans will pick up on. It's like, oh, they're letting them win. So I don't want to see that. I want to see them legitimately win a championship.
Right, but see, here's the beauty part, right? So I'm watching. I watched part of the preseason Atlantic Dream, Indiana Fever game. They roughed up Caitlin a little bit. She got mad and they teed her up.
Yeah.
Good for the WNBA.
Yeah.
Because that way they're not showing favoritism to her.
Yeah.
But I still wish all these commentators on ESPN, all these black women commentators on ESPN, okay? You have an incredible thing going where you can grow your league. Stop putting her down.
Yeah.
And no, we don't favor her because she's white. We like her because she's good.
She's good,
But what's cool is the black men commenting on it are seeing the same thing we do.
Yeah.
She's good.
She's good. And talent sees talent.
Talent sees talent.
Yeah.
But the women are just like petty and jealous.
But no, I'm not going to say it.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to say it.
Go ahead.
It's their nature.
Yeah, it is. Women hate to see other women succeed. Unless it's like black women, if it's the same race.
Yeah.
Angel Reese sucks. Angel Reese did nothing to improve her game in the off season.
I asked myself that. I was like, look, you got the whole. Nothing. Yeah, I was like, did you like? She should have hired a rebound, not a rebound, because she's great at rebounding her own rebounds.
Yeah.
But someone to teach her how to do a layup, how to use her left
hand,
how to go left.
Yeah, but here's the great deal, right? She's doing a podcast with Lisa Leslie, and she's like, and then Lisa Leslie looks her right in her face. She goes, "You need to work on your layups.
Yeah,
you need to work on your down low game because your down low game's not good." And then Angel Reese changed the subject.
Yeah,
because she like, look. Angel Reese thought it was more important to go to the Met Gala instead of
there's some great
being on time for the next day to play basketball.
You shouldn't have said that name because there's so many funny fucking videos on TikTok about the gala. There's one guy comes out, new gala, going to the gala, and he comes walking out. He's wearing the shade, the shade from the window.
Yeah,
he has it over his head and he's got it open. Dude.
Yeah. But I'm serious though. Like, look, you'd rather go to the Met Gala or Gala, whatever you want to call it, instead of being on time to your game the next day and then getting some sleep so you can play.
Yeah.
She comes in what does that say to your teammates?
Yeah.
Oh, she really doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, you got to put in the.
It's all about image and not. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's. I'm going to say it's not the 40s and the 50s and the 60s where you're forced to do something else after the season's over. You can actually. You're getting paid good enough money to be on a regiment at the end of the season. Hire people to help you on your game, help you on your core, all that stuff. That's there. It's available, and I'm sure teams offer it without having to pay for it. It's like, hey, well, you want something to do on the off season? Because when the WNBA did start early in the days, a lot of those girls had summer leagues. They had leagues that they could go. They go to Europe to play, so they were staying in condition.
Right.
Now with the rising pay that you're going to start seeing in the WNBA,
TV contracts going up.
You're not going to see a lot of those going to Europe to play basketball.
Right.
They're going to stay home. So now, are we going to get a different type of player that's not staying in condition during the off season?
By the way,
participating.
Did you see Caitlin Clark did her first game this year?
Yeah.
She bulked up.
Yeah.
She was hitting the gym.
I would too. Just the way the season went last year, I'm putting some muscle on me, man.
She was hitting the gym. She looks toner. She looks stronger, but she's in the gym practicing every day.
Yep.
And that's why everyone says I'm a big homer for Larry Bird. Yes, I love Larry Bird.
No,
because his work, Bob, his work ethic. Okay, so he's
for a basketball player at that era, hell yeah.
Because he's shooting 700 shots a day.
Yeah. No,
700 shots a day. And then after he lost in 85 to the Lakers, he started shooting 800 shots a day because he said, I knew Magic was shooting 700. Now I'm going to shoot 800.
Yeah.
But Larry Bird, it's like Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice worked out every day, even in the offseason. He ran hills. Jerry Rice was one of the most conditioned athletes of all time because Jerry Rice always wanted to get better.
Yeah.
Now
I've heard stories from people that would see him running the hills in San Francisco. Hey, that's Jerry. Yeah, no big deal. He's here every day.
Yeah. It's just, but and just like people want to see, and the young guys coming up. I want to be like you, Jerry. Then let's go run. It's like Larry Bird. I want to be like you. Then we're gonna run, and then we're gonna shoot.
Yeah.
But it's like Angel Reese does a lot of podcasts. She does a lot of things on social media. Turn all that shit off. Get into a gym. Get better.
Yeah.
And then her mom's like, well, at least we have a ring. You want a ring in college because you were loaded at LSU.
Yeah, that was
okay. You beat Iowa because it was Caitlin Clark, Gabby Marshall, and then you can't name anybody else on that team. All right, Caitlin Clark is like in Indiana State in '79. Larry Bird carried that undefeated team against Michigan State.
Yeah.
Right, against Magic Johnson. It wasn't Magic Johnson beat Larry Bird. It was Magic Johnson and Greg Kelser, who was an All-American, who beat Larry Bird. Yeah. Larry had no help.
Yeah. Well, good luck to the WNBA.
Good luck to the NBA.
Hopefully, you get the female audience to participate and show up to the games. Bring your daughters.
And that's the whole deal, man. Like I said, Nano, take your granddaughter.
If it's the grandpas, take them too. But the wives, the women need to get out there and get the game.
It is the moms taking the daughters.
Yeah, just have some fun with it, and learn the game. And I understand it because I went through it. I remember taking Katrina to her first baseball game, and yes, it was hell for 3 hours because I had to answer all those questions. But it's still at the end. The next game, I didn't get that. I still got a couple of questions of like, how come that's, why is that? How was that a double play?
Right.
And I have to explain it to him. But after that initial, first game, it's kind of hell, but you at least you learn something.
My favorite all-time question will always be, I got a female friend. We're sitting in the Coliseum. We're on the right field line in the box seats. And she goes to me, and she was serious. She goes, do they put Jose Canseco in right field because he's the worst player on the team? And I said, no, at this level, everyone's great. And you got to be out there. If you're out there, you're really good. Hold on. I said, you got to be out there because you're really good to get to this level. Yeah. But in his case, they put him in right field because he sucks at fielding.
I was going to say that's a little league thing. Where I go, right field.
Right field. But no, that was
the guy that was.
The fat little kid chasing butterflies.
Yeah, chasing the butterflies, looking for 4-leaf clovers.
Yes.
Got his glove down on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Because nobody hits it to right field. Because every kid's a righty in Little League.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Sharp. Here we go. Okay. I remember we were going to talk about this last week, and I didn't get a chance to get into it. But the most toxic fan base in college football. We're going to go at number 10. Bob. Oh, wait, is that right? Okay, no, that's
that's
first,
Ohio State.
That's the first slide. That's we ranked. Here you go. Number 10. Michigan. Deserving.
Yes, but shout out to my buddy Nick Perez. He's a Michigan fan.
Yeah, Nick.
And Nick Perez, he knows when they're bad. He knows when they're good. Yeah. He is really quiet when they're bad.
Yeah.
And, we do text back and forth. And Georgia's played him twice, and Georgia's beat him both times. Yeah. But Nick is diehard blue. But Michigan, you know why Michigan's obnoxious? Because they're used to winning.
Yeah, they're used to winning. And you're going to get a lot of that, I think, when you see the teams that are on this list. Yes. They're all winning teams. Yes. And I get it from big-time colleges. Yes. And, of course, you have the hate. It's like you can go to a Giants Pittsburgh game and you'll just see a Pittsburgh fan having a good time with a Giants fan. Yeah. It's like, it's calm and cool. But then the very next day, you could be a Giants Dodger game and you'll see the Giant Dodger guy killing each other. So it's a lot about rivalries and love hate. I mean, I love my team. You hate my team.
Yes,
I hate your team. I love my team.
Well, you know why Michigan's top 10 though? Because they seat 110,000 people.
Yeah,
they have the biggest stadium in the world for football. 110,000. Yeah.
Is that bigger than when USC plays at the
at the Rose Bowl?
At the Coliseum?
Yeah.
That Coliseum, it's bigger than the Coliseum?
Yes.
I thought the Coliseum was the biggest.
No, Coliseum is the biggest, but they don't seat every seat. They block out seats because of views.
Yeah.
But Michigan is 110,000 people. They have the biggest fan. They have the most fans in the stadium, except when they play the Rose Bowl. But they only play the Rose Bowl once a year.
Once a year, yeah. And number 9, we know that school, Florida
State.
Oh.
But see, Florida State really hasn't mattered in 20 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, this is, back in the day when they were really good. But, man, I love watching Florida State because I was always a Florida State guy.
It was open. It was an open offense.
Yeah, man.
But the joke is, I remember growing up and the two schools that always got, I don't want to say they got away with just, athletes just barely not going to school.
Miami and Florida State.
Miami, Florida State. But don't forget Arizona.
Arizona was never good. Arizona
no, but they were also the party school where it was,
shit, yeah.
And they
you do the weather, man. The weather. God damn.
But then again, someone told me it was a couple of weeks ago.
Arizona was good in basketball.
Yeah, he goes, John, just close your eyes and picture you having to go to UC Santa Barbara. And I go, fuck, I would have never concentrated.
Exactly, right?
I would have been it's like, he's like, and his son went there and he goes, He goes, my son, all he would talk about is he would sit in class and look out the window and see the beach. And I go, I couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't do it.
Well, let's see. That's why. Okay, so go ahead. Next slide, and I'll get to it. Who's this?
Number 8 is going to be. I'm going to have to open. Why? I don't know why.
Is that Oklahoma or
I don't know why the slides are like that. I can't see them. Number 8 is Alabama.
See, I would put Alabama at number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
I'd put Alabama. Obnoxious number Alabama. Because they're so used to winning. You had Bear Bryant, you had Nick Saban. With Nick Saban, I hated him so much because in the 2017 national championship, Georgia was up by 2 touchdowns at halftime, and the whole vibe of the game changed when the referees stopped calling penalties on Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, there's a great instance where Georgia blocked a punt. Guy called him offsides. If you look at slow motion, the guy timed it perfectly.
Yeah. But again, winning
Alabama.
Another
fuck
winning,
Alabama.
Another winning pro. Sorry to my co-host out there. You know who?
Yeah. You know what you call a virgin in Alabama? Any 14-year-old who can still outrun her brother.
It's a little late. Number 7, Mr. Sharp. You know who that?
Tennessee. Oh, wait, that's Tennessee.
Yeah, it's Tennessee.
Texas.
It's Texas.
Texas. Yeah, I can see that. Texas. Yeah, they're obnoxious because they run the state. Because Texas A&M hasn't been good in a while. Yeah. Baylor hasn't been good in a while. I don't think they're that obnoxious, but then again, we did beat them twice last year.
I've never heard crap about them at all.
Oh, Darrell Royal, when Darrell Royal was coaching. And right now with Steve Sarkisian,
this is the rivalry. They have the big rivalry with Oklahoma.
Yeah, they play a neutral site game every year. The Red River.
What's that trophy they play for?
I don't know, but it's called the Red River Shootout.
Yeah, the shootout.
I want to go, dude, because you have not been to a football game until you go to a game where half the crowd is for Oklahoma, the other half's for Texas because it's a neutral site.
And at any possible moment, a tornado could come.
There you go. That's it. But like going to the cocktail party, the world's largest cocktail party, Georgia, Florida.
Yeah.
It's a neutral site game. Both schools get equal amount of tickets.
Yeah.
I've been twice.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Let's go to number 6. And number 6 that's Tennessee. That's Tennessee.
See, I really don't have a problem with Tennessee except for good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. See, Tennessee, even when Peyton Manning was playing at Tennessee, they won one national championship when T. Martin was quarterback. Yeah. Every year, they have expectations of winning it all.
Yeah.
Every year, they fail.
Yeah.
And, when they lose, it's, here come the excuses and stuff.
Yeah, some beautiful women.
Oh, shit. God, I see. Exactly. So, dude, look, in the middle of November, would you rather be at Arizona State where girls are still wearing tube tops and shorts or at Penn State where they're wearing parkas?
I ain't going to Penn State. I grew up in
Arizona State University.
I'm going where it's warm.
Yeah, exactly. And the Southern women with that Southern draw, oh, my God. I had a layover one time. I'm 25 years old. I had a layover one time in Memphis, Tennessee. I had a 2-hour layover. Yeah. I'm walking through the airport. There's all these beautiful Southern women. And no, it's clean. It's clean. And they're like, how can I help y'all today? Is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah.
I'm like,
aren't you a sweetheart?
I'm from California. Do you want to get married and leave Tennessee? Because I will take you with me right now.
My favorite stops were in the South as a child.
Oh, man. Just like going through the Memphis airport.
Except they always try to get me to eat biscuits and gravy.
Dude, biscuits and gravy is the bomb, dude.
I don't want starch on top of starch.
I don't care, but once you taste it, it's incredible.
We'll talk about biscuits and gravy.
It's incredible, man. We'll talk about that with Art. Biscuits and gravy.
Number 5, Miami.
Okay, look, I hate those bastards, all right? Just because
he's dressed like the Pope.
Yeah, just because in the 90s, man, they cheated so bad. None of those guys could read, but they had every year.
Didn't cheat in the 80s.
Every time. 80s, 90s, 2000s. Those guys had guys breaking laws, but everybody went to the NFL.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary called Catholics versus Convicts. And it's about Miami playing Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Dude,
great. That's a great documentary.
Number 4 is not on here. I don't know why it's not on there, but it's Colorado.
Only because of Dion, I would say.
Nobody got on the list.
Nobody cared about Colorado.
They were never on this list.
Yeah, nobody cared about Colorado until Dion got there. So you can move past that.
Yeah. And number 3 is going to be.
Are those my boys? Go Dogs! Sing them.
I wonder why people say they're toxic at number 3.
Oh, come on now.
Ta-da!
Right here, baby.
Yeah, no. Hey, I get it. You win. If you look at the number 3, number 2, and number 1, all legitimate winning programs.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody hates a winner.
Everybody hates a winner.
Yeah, it's like people hate the Dodgers.
Number 2, you got Florida on.
Oh, dude, I can't stand Florida.
Gators.
You know, here's the best part about about lately the cocktail party, Georgia, Florida. Florida is usually down in the first half, so
I gotta know why it's hard.
All right, why can't you go to the South?
What the fuck? Asian people are allowed in the South.
Asian people aren't allowed in the South. You know, it's the cocktail party lately. Florida's been so bad that you don't get to see the chomp.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't get to see that.
Yeah.
So that's I need to go again, man. I need to go to a cocktail party again.
And number 1, we all know
Ohio State.
Knows who this is.
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Fuck Ohio State.
And I'm going to be honest because I know Bob. I know Bob's a Georgia fan, but every time I run into a
Buckeye
fan, I got to hear shit. The greatest team in football, the best program in football.
Look, it's a great program, but it's not the best program in football.
Yeah.
But they win every year.
They win every year, and they seem to beat somebody that I really wish would just spank them once and just be
Penn State.
Just one time, guys. You know,
Penn State. Can you just win one time?
I mean, you could go. I go 10.
Penn State can go 1-11, but that one win is against Ohio State.
Yeah, I would be happy just once.
It's a good season.
Just once.
It's a good season.
Yeah, I mean,
no, Ohio State recruits well, and they recruit speed, and which is really weird because a lot of the teams down south, like Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, they get the kids with speed because it's warm year round.
Yeah. You get the kid
for Ohio State to get that kind of speed every year and play outside is like incredible.
He says, "Oh, we are.
Oh, we are. Hell yeah!"
All right, Mr. Bob, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We're going to do the greatest running backs, and they're listed versus each other. There's eight numbers on here with 2 on each one. So I'm going to start you out, and then I will delete the one athlete out of the list.
Okay.
Number 1, Jim Brown, Thornton Thomas.
Who?
Thurman Thomas.
Thomas. Oh, Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. So I'm going to
Even though Thurman Thomas had better hands coming out of the backfield, he was a great. Jim Brown is the standard. Jim Brown was, give me the ball. I'm going to give you 6 yards with 10 guys on me.
All right. I'm going to highlight Mr. Jim Brown here.
Jim Brown.
Bo Jackson, Gale Sayers.
Oh, that's not fair. Both of them could have been greater than they were, but both of them had bad injuries. Gale Sayers tore up his knee back when there was no orthoscopic surgery, so they had to tear apart his knee and rebuild it. And Bo Jackson with his hip.
Yeah.
And both of them had incredible moves, incredible speed.
Yep.
So this is like what could have been.
Yeah.
Who had the biggest impact? I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but give me Gale Sayers.
You're gonna go Gale. Okay. No. This is your pick.
That wasn't fair though, because both of them could have been great if they didn't get hurt.
Adrian Peterson or Eric Dickerson?
Oh, Dickerson.
All right. I just wonder. I just was wondering on that one.
Dickerson.
All right. Frank Gore, Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith. That's not even close.
Not even close.
But if Frank Gore had Emmitt Smith's offensive line, I'd say Frank Gore.
All right.
Emmitt Smith was gifted with a very great offensive line.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Walter Payton or Tony Dorsett?
Again, Walter Payton played for years before they won the championship with a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, I'm going to go Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. All right. This is Bob's picks. O.J. Simpson or Marshall Faulk?
Oh,
Hold on.
No, because the Juice was so talented. The Juice had a great offensive line in Buffalo. But once his knees gave out, and he went to San Francisco, he was horrible. But the Juice was run only. He had 2,000 yards in 14 games.
Yeah.
The Juice, but that's all he did was run the ball.
Yeah.
I'm going Marshall Falk.
Marshall Falk, you got to go
because he could catch the ball. He
could do a lot.
He
more.
could do a lot more. Yeah.
A lot more than OJ.
Yeah. See, that's not a fair one right there. That's kind of like Gale Sayers and Bo Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I don't know how to say this guy's last name. Is LaDainian Thomas?
LaDainian Tomlinson
and Earl Campbell.
Oh shit! No, because it's just like the last. It's like Juice and Marshall Falk. You have two great running backs, but two different styles. LaDainian is like Marshall Falk, who could come out of the backfield. But I saw Earl Campbell run over Isaiah Robertson. He ran him over. I'm going Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell. All right, Earl Campbell. I'm going to highlight.
Because he was playing on a bad team in Houston.
Curtis Martin versus Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. Curtis Martin, my ass.
All right, Mr. Sharp. I'm going to go 1 to 8.
Okay.
And no, actually, yeah, I'm going to go 1 to 8. Jim Brown, Barry Sanders.
Oh, shit. Because Barry played on a bad team, man. But Jim Brown was just... But could Jim Brown play today? Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. All right.
Sorry, Jim Brown. I have a lot of respect and love for you, Jim.
We'll have to re-highlight him in... all right. I'm going to take Jim Brown out.
But Jim Brown was 6'3". Barry Sanders was 5'8".
Yeah. There's a difference there.
But Barry Sanders was so good with a bad offensive line.
All right. Bo Jackson versus Earl Campbell.
I picked.
Oh, no,
Earl Campbell.
Earl
Campbell.
Okay. I'm sorry. I did that one. Take him out. Eric Dickerson, Marshall Falk. That's why I did it 1 to 8 and down. I wanted to pin you against the two most famous Rams running back.
Jesse Basher, help me out. Jesse, if you're out there, just help me out, Jesse. There is no wrong answer here.
There is none. Yeah.
If Eric Dickerson would have stayed with the Rams in that offensive line, Eric Dickerson would have been the greatest running back ever for yardage.
Yeah.
I'm going Eric Dickerson.
You're going to go Eric, so I'm going to take Marshall out.
2105, baby. 2105.
Here we go. Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton.
Walter
Payton.
Because Emmitt Smith was gifted with a great offensive line.
Yeah. Let me take him out. All right. So we got Eric Dickerson, Barry Sanders.
Again, if Eric would have stayed in LA, he would have been the greatest. Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson stays on the list.
It's getting tough, dude.
Barry's out. Walter Payton, Earl Campbell.
Oh, God. See, Sweetness was good because he'd run around you.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell was good because he'd
run your ass over.
But if Earl Campbell would have had a better offensive line, I'm going Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell. And our two left.
Eric Dickerson. If Eric would have had, if Eric Dickerson would have stayed with the Rams, he'd be the greatest ever.
He'd be the greatest. Yeah.
Eric
the
Dickerson.
guy on the TikTok show that I watched.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He picked Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and
he was about your age too.
Yeah. So. You can't deny Jim Brown, but the only thing is Jim Brown couldn't have played. I mean, Jim Brown could play today's game, but today's game is so different than it was in the 60s, right? 60s, we were going to run down. And Jim Brown was an amazing running back. Jim Brown's like Earl Campbell. He would run you over, okay? Yeah. But it's today, like, how does today's game vary against the game in years past, right?
No, you're right. Yeah.
So, you got to take a combination of that and stuff because, yeah, Jim Brown, I mean, pound for pound, Jim Brown's probably one of the greatest, strongest running backs, like Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
But like I said, if Eric Dickerson would have stayed with the Rams, he'd be the greatest ever.
Yeah.
He got 2105, but he did that in 16 games.
Yeah. No,
right. So, but if Eric Dickerson would have stayed with the Rams instead of going to the Colts to chase more money the following year, because the following year, Greg Bell won the NFL rushing title with the Rams, and Greg Bell sucked, but the offensive line was great. I'm still going. Eric Dickerson could have been the greatest of all time if he had stayed with the Rams, and I respect this guy saying Jim Brown.
Okay,
I don't have a problem with that.
All right, I got you. I'm good with your pick. I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay. Well, great.
Yeah, he went with Jim Brown.
Yeah,
and I'm going to say he was roughly in his 60s. So he's, that's the thing. That's why I wanted to do it with you. Yeah. Or even Andre, because
I knew who all these guys were.
You guys have seen them at their peak on, not that the NFL was constantly on TV back in those days.
It was every Sunday. Only on Sunday.
Only on Sunday. Hey, remember those?
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, remember those days, Bob? Abdul Carter is going with number 51. Phil Simms' family said no.
Right.
And Lawrence Taylor saying thank you, but no thanks. On Friday, Carter said at a press conference that the number is what we had available.
Right.
And it's going to have to grow on me a little bit.
I wonder if 52 was taken.
I don't know.
52 is Pepper Johnson. Yeah. He was a great linebacker during the Super Bowl runs.
The beef, Jesse Jim Brown was playing against.
Yeah, Jesse, but they were strong ass forklift drivers, right?
I'll have to go.
He played against the fearsome foursome from the Rams, right, brother?
Yeah. Would you, Jesse? Would you have gone the same way at those picks? I can post them on here in a little bit, but basically, the guy on the. But I think it was Barstool actually went with Jim Brown, and I was wondering how Bob was going to go on that one. But a lot of the people are saying with him going with 51, he gets a number from each one of his numbers that he wanted.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, I just wonder if 52 was taken because that was Pepper Johnson.
Yeah.
And I want to say Harry Carson was 58.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so
51's a good number, though.
51's a good number,
And Dink Buckets.
Eagles and Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field, September 4th. The Cowboys are seeking a bounce back season after going 7-10.
You know what, though? I mean, but look, I
new
get
coach,
it.
Bob, new coach, new life.
Yeah, but here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. If I'm the Eagles, I want the Cowboys for the first game because I want them to sit their fat asses on the bench, and I want Dak Prescott to look at me, get a Super Bowl ring that he's never going to get.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's got to, with him, basically, what did he miss? The last 3 games?
Yeah, but he's still not that good.
Yeah, he's hurt, and I get it. He's coming back from his injury. So
he's the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Yeah, well, that means a lot to them. It doesn't mean much to the league.
Doesn't. Yeah, I mean, getting your money is great, but what about your legacy? And if I'm the Eagles, I am going to relish the fact that I'm passing out Super Bowl rings.
Yeah,
before the game,
and before the game, in front of them,
in front of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting.
Jim Brown was still a great running back.
Yeah, he's still a great running back. I'm not going to take away. I mean, it's like
and it was a 12-game season.
Yeah, it's a situation where you're going to get a different answer to those questions depending on what era of football you grew up in.
Plus, Jim Brown was great because he got to make out with Raquel Welch in 100 Rifles.
Yeah, and he was in the Caveman movie too, right?
I don't think so.
Who was in that? No, that was the dude from the Raiders.
John Matuszak.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jim Brown got to make out with Raquel Welch in 100 Rifles.
Yeah.
And Burt Reynolds got to watch.
Yeah, he was a stud. But I think, again, like there's certain athletes. I think this is a great topic for a future show. But just, what athletes from what sports have just gone through time where even today's kid knows, like Jordan. I mean, how many decades of kids are going to know who Jordan is? Right. How far is this going to go?
You know what, and that's a great point.
Yeah.
Because if you ask kids today, I bet you if you asked
who Jim Brown is,
I bet you if you asked 100 kids today who O.J. Simpson is, and he'd be with it, that's the guy who killed his wife.
Yeah,
they have no idea he was a football player, a great football player. Yeah.
So it's just amazing to see what athletes, doesn't matter what decade it is, or they're always going to be known and be famous. And I mean, I can, honest to God, think 20 years down the road, I still think people are going to know who Jordan is.
Absolutely.
You know, if not by then, he's not the face. He's actually the statue that represents the league.
Okay, so here's the deal. And then we're going to get off topic here just a little bit. Do you think that the NBA changes their logo from Jerry West to Michael Jordan after Jerry West dies?
Probably. I think that's what they're waiting for.
I think that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah. Just out of respect for Jerry.
Because Jerry West was awesome, man.
And I think Jordan's a class enough guy to know that that's going to happen, and is in no hurry for it to happen until that moment happens. Yeah. So I'm with that, but it's that's just a little out of respect, and that's in a good way respectful, and not like what baseball's doing to Pete Rose. But
no. Yeah. So
that's a little different.
So Trump pardoned Pete Rose.
Yeah.
So now that Pete Rose is dead, Pete Rose is going into Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's going in the Hall.
Well, because they didn't want Pete Rose to give a speech.
Yeah,
and that's the whole deal.
Well, one of those kids are going to give that speech.
His son, Pete Rose
that
Jr.
motherfucker had that speech already written out.
Oh, but
it's in the will. It's in the will, Bob.
I know, but still, you know what I mean? It's just like
it doesn't have the same.
He should, because they didn't want Pete to take the mic. Yeah. And I think now that Pete's dead, I think Pete's going into the Hall of Fame, and well deserved. He should have been there a long time ago.
All right, Jesse, you out there too as well. Give me that home opener score, Bob.
Phillies and Cowboys and Cowboys and Eagles. Philly drafted a Georgia Bulldog. They really didn't leave.
You think they come guns a-blazing?
I think Philadelphia is winning like 35-21.
Yeah. You can give me your score too there. I think it's going to be an eye opener for Dallas Cowboys, and hopefully, hopefully he comes back healthy. I don't wish ill on anybody,
right?
But hey, prove your worth. If you're the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, yes, you're coming back into the season from an injury. What was it? A thumb?
Who? Prescott?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think it was his thumb.
I thought it was his
hand or something.
Vagina?
His vagina. It got sealed shut.
Again?
Cowboys upset.
Oh, Cowboys upset. I don't know, player. yes, they are.
For that one game.
They're going to practice all for that one game.
You make a good point, because it is a big game. I mean, You got a new head coach. You got. Oh man! If that were to happen, Jesse, strained vagina.
Strained vagina, right?
Yeah, it dried up. It dried up.
I don't know what happened, man. Something. I pulled something. It didn't feel like a groin, because I don't think I have any man parts down there. But anyway, go ahead.
I don't know if I see a blowout, but I do see the Eagles winning that game. It might be a close one. Hopefully it's a clean game. I don't, like I said, I don't wish ill on anybody, but what happens when he throws that first pick? He throws that first.
Oh, Dak?
Yeah.
Like I said, man, they got Smail Munden now. They got another linebacker from Georgia. That'll be 6 guys on defense from Georgia. So he's gonna be all they did was bark at me all game long. All they did was bark.
Derek Carr retires. In a nutshell, he gave up $30 million in fully guaranteed pay. That was his base salary for 2025, which the Saints opted to convert to a mostly prorated payment in March.
Cool.
Carr will keep $10 million roster bonus he earned in March. Mm-hmm. Also, the Saints will not seek recovery of the remaining allocation of his $28.5 million signing bonus, which he received in 2023.
Yeah,
last sentence.
Yeah.
Carr could have undergone shoulder surgery and not played this year and pocketed $30 million.
Right. And
made a decision about his future at some point down the road. But I think it's a class act. I think stepping away, going, hey, I could have just had surgery, sat out, held a clipboard the whole year, and got $30 million.
Yeah, but here's the whole deal. Okay, I think that go out on your own terms.
Yeah.
Get out while you're still young and healthy. You can play with your kids. He's very Christian.
Yeah.
I think he is the right move, because I don't think he saw the Saints making enough additions to where they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Because now they're fighting with the Falcons in Tampa Bay. I mean, seriously, right now, I think Tampa Bay did so much in the draft that no one's talking about. Tampa Bay is going to be hard to beat, especially when they got a Mecca from Ohio State to go with Godwin and Mike Evans. And man, Tampa Bay is just going to be a force.
Yeah.
And the Falcons are coming up. So, I don't think New Orleans did enough to make them better where they can make the playoffs. And if I'm Derek Carr, do I want to keep beating up by a team with a bad offensive line? No, I'm good.
No, and you're right, Jesse. Honestly, I've given him a lot of shit over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, stand-up guy. I mean, it's just something nice about just actually an athlete that just stays out of trouble, doesn't get arrested, doesn't do stupid things, doesn't get DUIs. And to me, for me, that's, he may not have been the best quarterback ever, but it's class. I didn't get arrested.
Look at Luck from the Colts. He went out after an injury.
Yeah.
On his own terms.
Yeah.
Guy did it right. There was never any controversy.
Yep. And we also got to kind of remember, everyone says, that they don't love the game. You got to understand, these guys have been playing the game a long fucking time.
No, trust me, they love the game. I mean, one of the things that I took away with my first trip to the Pro Bowl in 1999, I ran into Tom Jackson, played 16 years with Denver. He couldn't walk.
Yeah.
His knees were so bad. After so many knee surgeries, I was in pain watching him walk. Just talking to him, 16 years.
Yeah.
Look what it did to his body.
Yeah.
Right?
And those are years where the padding wasn't so
good. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Orthoscopic surgery wasn't the thing back then. So, he could barely walk. He doesn't have a productive lifestyle where if he wanted to play with his grandkids or not, he couldn't get on the floor with his grandkids.
No.
Because he can barely walk.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to leave the game where you can still function in life, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, when you do, and shit happens, you may sign a contract today, you may play 2 games and then boom, you're out for the season.
Right.
It's tough, and if that happens as a rookie, fuck yeah. I'm going to rehab. I'm going to come back next year. But when you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and that happens, it's, it's time. The wife is in your ear. Your kids are in your ear. Hey, Dad, maybe it's time to go, Dad. Hey, Dad, maybe it's time to go. Hey, hon, maybe it's time to go. And I get it. And if you're good with your money, like you should be,
all right. So I'm not sure if
you got a pretty good retirement program over at the NFL.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure if you remember this scene in Jerry Maguire. It's one of the first scenes. He's in the hospital. One of his clients, he's a hockey player. He's in the hospital bed. With another concussion, he got hurt again. And then his son is yelling at Jerry, "Tell my dad to quit.
Yeah.
Tell my dad to quit."
Yeah.
Right? He can't keep playing and coming like this. And Jerry's like having he's like in his mind, he's like, "No, I need this guy because I need to keep making money and your dad needs to keep making money." But the little kid's like, I want my dad to be my dad for the rest of my life. And he's going to be writing with color crayons here pretty soon. If you don't, and that one's when Jerry had the epiphany, to like change the whole outlook and stuff.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, I get it. Like we said, it takes a lot to get to that level.
It does.
You busted your ass, and you're playing pee-wee football all the way into college football to get to that spot, and you get there. And hey, man, if you had a great 6 years and that's it, hey man, you accomplished all your goals.
Yeah.
And maybe there are other goals which are sometimes unachievable. Every kid goes into wanting to win a World Series.
Absolutely.
Every kid wants to win a Super Bowl. Every kid wants to win the Stanley Cup.
Right.
I get that. But there comes a point in time where you have to realize, hey, look, all these injuries, I played this game, I got to this level. Did I win a championship? No. Could I have won a championship now with this team? And like you're saying, Carr probably did look at what was going on at that facility team and said, you know what? We're not going to win a champ and do it in 2 years, 3 years. No.
Well, also too, and this is, I think if Aaron Rodgers would have got married and had kids, I think he would have quit a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, there's been quite a few guys. I mean, throughout the NFL. I mean, one of the greatest stories is the 49er. You know,
that kid playing linebacker. Left after 2 years.
Yeah, and you know, to go fight a war.
Yeah. No, that was
I'm talking about
Glenn Coffey.
Yeah,
Glenn Coffey.
Yep.
But there was a linebacker who quit after 2 years, and he was good. Also, John Frank. John Frank played for the Niners in the 80s. Played 4 years maybe. Won a couple Super Bowls. Quit because he wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to go back to medicine.
I remember that story.
Yeah, and there was a Samari Roll, same thing. Played at Florida State. You know, he played 2 or 3 years in the NFL, went back to college, and now he's a neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
Because that was his passion.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
If you're an athlete, if you're a football player, and also I got an email to correct your mistake last week from someone. The last horse to win the Triple Crown was not the horse that you
affirmed.
It was Justified in 2018 and the American Pharaoh in 2015.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that I was corrected because
I was like, why am I getting this email?
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I could not even tell you even watching those two.
Yeah, I knew there was a horse. I was like, God, I remember a horse.
Justified in American Pharaoh.
I just couldn't remember that goddamn name. Yeah,
I should have looked it up. I apologize. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we got listeners.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I saved it too. I was like, I have to look these names up because I don't know these fucking horses.
Oh, he did win the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Look, my bad. Thank you very much. No, seriously.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. I'm getting an email about a fucking horse.
No, that's awesome, man. Thank you. I mean, whoever corrected me, thank you very much.
And American Pharaoh. There's the other horse.
Okay.
And that was 2015.
Well, cool. Well, thank you very much.
They're beautiful horses, though. Dude, I was like, when I was like, started looking at the horses, and I'm like, God damn. But you don't realize, you know, that thing too. It's just in the sports related, but you don't realize how big a horse is until you stand in front of a horse.
Oh yeah, till you fall off one. Oh yeah,
or you fall off.
Or you fall off one while you're riding it.
Yeah, good hunting story, which is sports.
Yeah.
We moved to California. My uncle decides to go hunt. We get, I think we were at D6.
Okay.
And my uncle goes, hey, you know, this is our first year. We're going to rent horses. So we got to our campsite.
Where'd you go, Clark's Fork?
Yeah, somewhere around there. So we rented horses. Of course, we have me, my brother Philip, my brother Pino, my dad, and my uncle Pino, the only two people that ever rode a fucking horse in their life. We don't even know what a horse looks like because we're from South.
Ain't no horses in Philly.
Yeah, there ain't no damn horses in Philly. We get on these horses. They saddle them up. We go up to the hills, and we're going through the valley there Trails, with the horses. And a fucking a bee decides to sting Philip's horse.
Oh shit!
And bucks that motherfucker. My brother, I just watched. I just did this on my horse. Boom. But it was fun. And then my saddle got loosened and slid, so I fell off my horse as well. And I didn't know, dude. I don't know how to fucking put a saddle back on.
Right?
I'm trying to put. We get back. This guy's yelling at me because the saddle was wrong.
Yeah.
And I go, motherfucker, I fell off the horse because you didn't put the saddle on right the first.
Exactly.
It was fun though. It was fun. Bob's got 5 minutes.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much.
Let me pull your thingy up. No, that doesn't sound. Let me pull your theme up, Bob.
Pull my theme up.
Oh, for 5 minutes. Could you not be yourself? For 5 minutes! Ah! Are we there yet?
There you go, Mr. Sharp.
Okay, so I was reading an article. It was from Outpost. Outpost. It was written by Sid Ziegler. Okay, and the article said transgender swimmer won her races fair and square. Now they want the University of Penn to sit as CYD.
What's that?
The name of the author is Sid Ziegler. C-Y-D. Ziegler.
How do you spell
C-Y-D. There's no I.
Oh, no. C-Y-D?
C-Y-D. Ziegler. Z-E-I-G-L-E-R.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Sid Ziegler. Okay. Sid Ziegler wrote a...
Is that the one?
No.
All right. I'll find it. Okay.
All right. So Sid Ziegler wrote an article about Leah Thomas, University of Penn. And the headlines of the article was transgender swimmer wins her races in her championship fair and square. Now they want the University of Penn to erase all the records out of the record books. Okay. What caught me on this is when he said the racer won her races fair and square. She didn't win the races fair and square.
No, she didn't.
All right. William Thomas is a dude who is stronger physically and faster in the pool than any other woman in the competitions.
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't fair and square. Okay. He had an advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. He had testosterone. He was 6'3". It wasn't fair to begin with.
Yeah.
And for this hack, Sid Ziegler, to this hack to say, well, he won his races fair and square according to the rules. I don't give a shit. It wasn't fair and square to begin with. You have a man competing against women.
Yeah.
It wasn't fair and square.
No.
It was never fair and square.
No.
He had the advantage, and he took advantage of the advantage. And now that they want to wipe his name out of the record books, hell yeah.
That's a man.
All right.
That's a man.
Dude still had a penis. Dude still had testosterone.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking estrogen shots.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't fair and square.
And again, everyone out there, this is a man that doesn't have a daughter or a kid that understands the importance of women's sports.
No, I don't have a daughter, but I do understand
Yeah.
that girls should compete against.
They always say that we're the guys, the dads that have daughters that are upset. No, it's dads. It's just men in general.
America is upset. Okay, America is upset, except for the liberal left, and it's just like Nora. All right, look, one of the stupidest ever clips you're gonna see on TV is when Nora O'Donnell's talking to John McEnroe and says, "Do you want to apologize
that's a great,
for saying that Serena Williams is not the best tennis player in the world and Serena could beat men?" And John McEnroe goes, "No, because she played like the 700 rated or the 400 rated guy and lost 6-0, 6-1.
Yeah.
Serena came on a talk show. She admitted, she goes, I couldn't play against Andy Roddick. I would lose 6-0, 6-0.
Yeah.
I can't handle the serve coming at me at 140 miles an hour.
Nope.
Men are better than me."
Yes.
So if the athletes are saying it, why can't you guys in the media pull your head out of your asses and accept the fact that men competing against women is not fair?
No, it's not at all. And look, we said it over and over and over again. It's
that's a man, baby.
It's a man. It's a man. No matter what you do and change, and look, this is America. You can use whatever pronoun you want to use. You can do whatever you want to your body. I don't care.
Right.
But when you start taking scholarships away from girls, when you start taking championships away from girls, when you start taking spots on NBA teams,
it's never going to go that far.
Yeah, hopefully
WNBA.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's when it starts to affect, because you got, and I forgot one more part of it. When you start taking records away from girls, that have set these amazing records in high school and college, and you're wiping them out because a man beat her record. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
And if you're going to do that, then put a fucking asterisk on it.
Yes.
You look, if MLB can put an asterisk on every fucking, hey, you got the world's record asterisk right there, and then highlight why. because you know what? That's bullshit. I'm sorry.
I saw a video today, and I forget what state it's in, but it's girls softball, high school softball, and the pitcher's a dude. Yeah. He's 6'1". He's towering all these. And he pitched. I mean, the batting average against him is $128. He pitched a game where he struck out like 10 of the girls, and it was a shutout. But again, he's taller, stronger physically.
Yeah,
it's not fair. Yeah. And to anybody who thinks it is fair, all right. Look, if anybody who thinks it's fair, okay, I'll tell you what. Give me your. All right. So if there's a woman who thinks this is fair, let me put you in the ring against, I don't know, Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture. Yeah. Let's go MMA, okay? And beat those guys. You can't. Ronda Rousey could not beat Tito Ortiz. No. He'd kill her. No. He'd kill her. No. Okay, and that's your woman tough person there. No. That's why Fallon Fox is a dude fighting women. Like Fallon Fox was fighting this woman, broke her skull because Fallon Fox is a dude. Okay, testosterone, stronger, faster. Yeah, fighting women, MMA, fractured the young lady's skull. Yeah, because he's a dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take for that to change. I really don't. To me, it doesn't make any sense when you have universities where our kids are going to get an education, to be smart individuals, thinking this process is okay.
Yeah. Well, I saw this interview, and I don't know, Jesse, because they were all protect the women first movement, whatever.
Yeah.
So I saw this interview, and it was in Congress, and they were talking about the Republican senator was asking the Democrat, would you be comfortable with a man undressing in front of your girls in the locker room? And the Democrat said, well, the girls don't have to look. Give me a fucking break.
No.
Why are the girls looking at the guy undressing? Why?
It shouldn't be put in that situation.
Thank you.
That's the whole problem. That's the whole thing. And to make matters,
girls shouldn't sign up for that.
Yeah, and look, there's a slight difference between that happening in college and then happening in high school.
Right.
There's a difference there.
Well, look, high school girls shouldn't be put in that situation.
No,
they should not be put in a situation where they're forced to undress in a locker room with a boy.
Right.
I'm not college. I don't think it should happen in college either, unless you're in your own dorm. Then hey, whatever happens in your dorm is cool.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't force them. Yeah. To undress in a locker. Like Riley Gaines said, it takes me 15, 20 minutes to put on my swimsuit.
Yeah.
And I'm undressing in front of Leah Thomas, who has a dick.
Yeah.
But because the swimsuits are so tight to their bodies, they're naked for like 15 minutes. And come on now, this dude, William Thomas, is looking at them getting a chubby.
No,
exactly.
Like
they're retards.
There's a little difference. I mean, yes, when you're in college, you're pretty much an adult, so you have a little different thing. I mean, this is a situation. I mean, it's not the same situation, but there was a situation with vaping about 3 years ago or 2 years ago, where a vice principal had two girls undress because they thought they were hiding a vape device without parents' consent.
Oh, I would have sued.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? That's not happening.
After I got out of jail, I would have sued because I would go to jail because I would have beat the hell out of the principal.
So I don't know. I mean, this situation has gotten way out of hand. And again, I've heard some athletes say, well, they deserve to have a sport. Okay, give them their sport. If you start a league, and then have, and I can guarantee you this, man on man, transgender, beating the shit out of each other, they're going to realize, oh, maybe I should go back to just, they're not going to want to get beat up by the shit. Right. There's all right, look, there's a reason. And how do I say this without, look, I understand competitiveness, and I understand that Leah Thomas has a competitive burning fire inside her to swim and be the greatest. I get that.
Right.
You can't take that away. That's in you. But there's a point where she realized that he cannot compete with men.
Work harder.
Don't just leave the league. Decide you're going to be, I'm not saying he decided to transition because he wanted to be a better swimmer and win champion.
Yes,
Who knows?
Yes,
I don't know. We don't know, Bob. We don't know.
Work harder.
That's it. I mean, for me, I see these. I've seen it on TikTok just about every other day, where especially in track and field, where it's just like they're winning, Bob, but they're not just winning by small margins.
No, they're winning by big margins because they're dudes.
They're winning, and I know it's yards, whatever they call it in track and field, but they're winning by 20, 30, 40 feet.
Because they're dudes.
So it's just like at some point in time, as a father, and I'm going to say it even as a mother, yeah, I respect his courage, whatever.
Right.
But I also have to think of my kid and thinking, hey, this has got to be frustrating for my daughter to be out here and see that she came in second place. But if you watch the clip, it's the boy.
Yeah.
He's 40 yards ahead, but the pack is still together. So there's still a female pack that's within a couple yards of each other, even at the last 50 yards.
Yeah.
And she wins by, maybe she gets second place by maybe a couple feet from whoever came in third.
Mm-hmm.
But again, she would have been in first place. But again, the whole pack was together because they're all equal in and one is a little better than the other one to take second place. And it's just, how do you not see that? That's what I don't understand, or how our politicians, our congressmen, our senators, all these people, mayors, student body presidents, fucking university president, sports councils, whatever, how do they not see this gap? I mean, I see it. All of America sees the gap.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, why is he 40 yards ahead? But here's 10 women all within 5 yards of each other, the last 50 yards. But nobody sees the guy that's 60 yards ahead of him.
I would be a horrible dad. And I'm going to tell you this only because this. Last year.
All right, let me put my finger.
No, you're good. There was a high school basketball game, and there was a Christian school. They're female. There was a girls' basketball game.
Yeah.
They weren't very good, and they're playing a school that had a transgender boy playing basketball with the girls, and he took out 3 girls.
Yeah.
He hurt them. He's throwing elbows and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm a father and I see this is coming to my school, I'm going to pay a kid who's 6'3", 220 pounds. I'm going to say, look, dude, I'll give you $500 for one game. I want you to say you identify as a female.
I'm just laughing at Jesse.
And I want you to play that game. I want to talk to the coach. Look, he identifies as a girl, put him on the team. And your job is to take that motherfucker
Just take that guy out.
Take that motherfucker out. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't care what you got to do.
And the funny thing is, what we're discussing doesn't make us chauvinist pigs.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't, because we're pro women. We are.
Well, like, I believe in women's rights, and I support women, and I want women to succeed, because in a world where women succeed fairly, we all succeed. We all succeed. Yeah, I believe women can do everything a man can do except work construction. And, there are jobs women just can't do because they're physically strong enough.
Look, people out there, I thought he was going to say president for sure.
No.
For sure he's going to say
no. I'm not saying that. But no, I mean, I just can't believe that all these politicians that are saying they are for women's rights, who support men playing in women's sports. They're so hypocritical. God, it's crazy.
And it's okay, I want to go back to where I had some people say, some athletes actually say they should have their own sport, their own league. Again, we're talking about a very small portion of the population.
There's not enough athletes for them to have their own.
Yeah. So it's just, for me, it's just like that whole suggestion is throw it in the garbage, because that's not going to fly.
But the whole deal is too, it's just like, they are less than 1% of the population. The whole LGBTQ XYZ I don't know, whatever, is 4% of the population. I can't believe that they want to cave to less than 1% of the population.
Yeah,
and that's why the other 99% of the people watching, or the other 95%. Okay, let's throw 5% for the LGBT, whatever. So 95% of the country is straight. Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you want? I mean, look at the impact. It's not fair.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, if you don't recognize this, that's violence. No, it's not. Violence is me beating the hell out of you. That's violence.
Jesse.
LGBTQ MS13. Yeah, MS13. Let's not get into that. They don't play sports fairly anyway. They like to stab people. But but yeah, no, all right. So so we can move on for this.
Yeah, I think we're done. I don't have anything else. It's been. I'm excited. I've been watching some of the clips on TikTok and YouTube of some of the rookies coming into camp, and watching some of that. It's good to see.
Well, before we head out, is the NBA playoffs better because LeBron's not in it anymore?
I do. Yeah, I do think that. I think I tried to watch again the other night, the Warriors game, and I can't. It's just like, I know it's coming.
Yeah,
I know it's coming every fucking play.
Right. Well, it's just like, the Celtics and Knicks, right? First 2 home games, Celtics and Knicks. The Celtics are throwing up like 99 3-pointers or 99 shots from the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not hitting 3-pointers, they lose.
Yeah.
Can you guys work the ball down? But see, that's why
post.
I think that's why a lot of people don't mind. The WNBA is getting more recognition because they still play the game down to the post.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you got Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, some other guys still showing threes, but Caitlin Clark does a lot of passes into the post.
Yeah, and look, that Warriors game, they did end up losing, but one of the things I liked about the game was the Warriors actually worked the post. They came in and they
Steph Curry didn't play.
Steph wasn't playing.
Steph wasn't playing. But see, that's the point. That's the whole deal.
So, but it was nice to see that them trying to work the post and getting in there, within 10 feet of the basket for once,
Yeah.
But it was just 3 after 3 after 3, and some of them, I swear to God, I saw the guy close his eyes.
Yeah,
his eyes were closed. He just threw it up.
Yeah,
and and of course he made it.
Yeah,
he made it. But it was just like, I'm done. I can't. I just shut the game off.
LeBron should retire and get out and go away. Bye bye. Yeah, anyway, you're right. We are out of here.
Yeah, he's on his way out. I think.
He's not relevant anymore.
He isn't relevant anymore. But what happens to Son? What happens to the Son? Do you think
Son gets kicked out of the gets cut?
You think he gets cut from the Lakers?
Yes, he's not that good.
Yeah. No, he is not that good. He's not. He's a G League player at best.
He's a G League
at best.
He averaged 4.5 points in college.
Yeah. I mean, but
he's Scotty Thurman, and Scotty Thurman was better in college.
Yeah. And like I said, I watched a little bit of that, the rookie camp, and it was good to see maybe a little bit more humbler Shakur Sanders, a little more humble,
right?
And it was nice to see that he said it, but not so much in a cocky way.
Yeah.
But the way he said it, like, hey, I see what happened. I see that I have to prove myself.
Yes.
And I got to do what it takes to show everybody that I belong here.
Did you see Shiloh Sanders, who wasn't drafted?
Yeah.
Got picked up by Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay
signed him 3-year, $3 million contract.
Yeah, because he got an agent. You got a fucking agent. You got a fucking agent.
Yeah, but he got an agent, and there's a great chance he can make it.
Yeah, my son's the best.
Yeah,
no, you draft him. Yeah.
How'd that work for all the Ball brothers?
Yeah, okay, no, it didn't. So it was good. It was good to see him being a little humble.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen a shit ton of clips from the kid from the Giants, the quarterback.
Jackson Dart.
Dart, yeah, I see a lot of clips from him on there.
Yeah.
Giants fans are pretty excited because I think Giants fans have taken over fucking TikTok.
Well, yeah, I think too. What's going to happen is, I think, I mean, either
Issa,
yeah,
he's not out there, but
yeah. So Russell Wilson's going to start.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if they're smart, they let Russell Wilson play a year, or if they're not doing well by the 10th week, put in Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let Jackson Dart develop.
Yeah, he's throwing some darts.
Yeah, but it's practice.
It's practice. There's nobody in your face. There's nobody rushing.
You're talking about practice.
You talking about practice?
You don't have like verse and fist coming up your ass. You know what I mean?
350-pound
exactly
bearing on down on you. But it was good. It's good. It's nice to see that the training camp. I like watching that. The quarterback showing up and the wide receiver showing up right now. It's just fun to see that.
Absolutely.
And again, like with any sport, we talk about this all the time. It's just like there's always hope until day one.
Yes.
There's always hope. And sometimes maybe a little bit day 3 or week 3, week 4, maybe. But they're just like in baseball.
Yeah.
Every team's got a shot of winning the World Series.
You know who has the best record right now in baseball?
Who is that?
The Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
They're a game up on the Dodgers.
Yeah, game up on the Dodgers.
If you look at the American League Central,
it's early, man.
Yeah, it is early, but still, but the Tigers, the Guardians, and the Royals are just as competitive as the Dodgers, the Padres, and Giants.
It's just, again, baseball is about, can you do it for
Can you do it until September 1st when you get call-ups?
Yeah.
But it's just like, but if you look at the first, if you look at the first quarter,
we need a Detroit Tigers.
I mean, they made the playoffs last year.
You need a Pittsburgh Pirates fucking winning.
Well, no, I mean, but Kansas City's up there too, and they have like one of the lowest payrolls in baseball as well.
Hey, it's just with baseball, I think more so. No, maybe basketball, but in baseball for me, it's more so if you have the right 9 guys, you can win.
And plus a good bench too.
Yeah, good bench.
But the A's are in second place.
Yeah, A's. Yeah,
they're playing at AAA ballpark where they play better on the road than they do at home.
They had 500 people show up for a game.
They sold out this week because the Yankees came to West Sacramento. The Yankees came to West Sacramento, 15,000. It was sold out, man.
Yeah, and then Judge
hit a home run.
Yeah,
Judge. His parents come in from Linden. But West Sacramento, man, where the ballpark is, 15,000 people. They sold out because it's the Yankees.
Yeah, it was free hot dog.
It was. They didn't have to have free. You could sell a hot dog for $100, and you're going to sell out because it's the Yankees.
Fans, they show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about teams that travel well.
Exactly.
You got Yankee fans everywhere. You got Cubs fans everywhere. You got Bears fans everywhere. You got Packer fans everywhere.
Dodger fans.
Do you think okay, no, I'm not being sarcastic here, but do you think they have that big of a fan base on the East and Midwest?
The Dodgers have a group called Pantone 294, and they travel everywhere, and they're strong.
But where are they located out of?
LA, but they traveled all the road games.
That's why. No, but I'm saying, is that fan base?
Oh, New York, still with the Brooklyn. You still got Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
And you still get people who have grown up Dodger fans who live in the Midwest and live all over the place. It's just like every.
And then you got Jesse and Bob.
Oh, Jesse and Bob. Fuck yeah.
They travel well too.
Not like I used to, because the money's not there anymore. But I used to travel. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Sharp, we're done. We'll be back next week. We'll talk a little bit about some of the.
We will.
Wait.
What's today?
Today is.
No, we will be back next Monday.
Yeah,
in 2 weeks, we won't be here.
Yeah, 2 weeks we won't be here.
Memorial Day. One of us is working that day.
Yeah. I'm not.
Okay, exactly.
Not. You are, but yeah, we won't be here. But we'll talk a little bit about the rookie camps in the NFL and whatever else is happening. Maybe a little baseball next week.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, we got the opening WNBA. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Hey, it's starting to get relevant. We might as well talk about it.
I think the Brazilian beach volleyball season is starting to as well. Maybe we'll discuss.
Did I send you the pictures of the Italian beach volleyball team? Yes. All right.
Hello, Becky. Becky picks the right time to come.
Right at the end. Hey, Becky. Ciao, babe.
Ciao, babe.
Ciao, babe.
All right, we're out of here. Bob, look at the camera and say goodbye.
Goodbye.